English learners, welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Today we're bringing you part 2 of another great lesson that we had.
Yes, new guy in town.
The new guy in town.
Part 2.
Part 2. Kind of a creepy story.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one is also a little bit strange, a little bit weird.
Yeah, unusual outcome, unusual ending.
But it has to do a lot with invitations.
That's right. So an invitation is when you ask somebody to do something with you.
Right. A dinner invitation.
So we're going to be talking about invitations and inviting people to do things.
Okay.
Well, with that, let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It'll be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always rope me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. Beautiful. Please, come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
Wow, I'm really anxious to see what happens in this dinner party.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to stay tuned and find out.
For part 3.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have some really great vocabulary, so I guess we can start with language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, on language takeaway today, we have 3 great words. Erica, why don't you start us off with the first one?
The first word is thoughtful.
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 So when you're thoughtful, you're kind, right?
You're kind, you're considerate
Yes,
to other people.
You think about what the other person would like.
Right.
And you do
right.
that thing.
It's so thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
Our second phrase, give me the creeps.
Give me the creeps.
Give me the creeps.
This is kind of a funny phrase, but I think if we listen to some examples, we'll understand the meaning.
Example 1. Horror movies give me the creeps. Example 2. Stop it! You're giving me the creeps. Example 3.
I saw this really scary clown. It gave me the creeps.
So I can see this one means to make me feel uncomfortable.
Right, it makes me feel
Like strange.
scared.
Yeah, scared.
Also,
Yeah.
gives me the creeps. And our last phrase for language takeaway, rope me into.
Rope me into something.
Rope me into something. So if you rope me into something, it's...
It's like you convince me to do something that I don't really want to do.
Right, so I roped you into lending me your car.
Yes. That was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea.
And you roped me into going out for beers after work.
Yeah, that was a great idea. All right, so rope me into,
Yeah.
convince.
Yeah.
All righty, so I guess we could listen to our dialogue again.
This time a little bit slower, and you'll be able to understand the language a little bit more clearly.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It will be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always wrote me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. I mean, beautiful. Please come in. Come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
Well, I guess that's a lot more clear, and with that, we can start putting it together today.
Putting it together.
Today we've got 3 words and phrases that we want to show you how you can put together and use differently. The first one is appetite.
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 So appetite is like a strong desire for food, right?
Right, an appetite.
We've got some examples that show you how to use this phrase. Let's listen.
Example 1.
Dinner smells so good. It's giving me an appetite.
Example 2.
You're sure eating a lot. You must have a big appetite.
Example 3.
I'm getting sick. I have a fever and I've lost my appetite.
Okay, so we saw some great examples of appetite. You can lose your appetite.
That's right.
You have a big appetite, a small appetite.
A healthy appetite.
Right. So it just means
A desire for food.
desire
a hunger
for
food. Yeah.
Okay. Great. What's our second phrase for today?
Get to know someone.
Get to know.
Get to know.
So when you get to know someone is you talk to them and you find out what they do.
Yeah, you get more familiar with them.
More familiar, right? For example, we can say, I got to know her in Spanish class and she's a really nice person.
Yeah, or you can say Armand, Ellen, and Doris got to know each other at a dinner party.
Right. Or you can say, if you get to know me, you'll see that I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, get to know.
And our third phrase is, why on earth?
Why on earth?
Why on earth?
Why on earth? This is this like a saying,
Yeah.
right? Expression.
You can use it in a lot of different ways. So we've got some examples for you. Let's listen.
Example 1.
Where on earth is my phone?
Example 2.
How on earth did you learn English in 1 month?
Example 3.
What on earth is it?
So when you ask a question with on earth, so why on earth, how on earth, what on earth, it's like you're showing a lot of surprise.
Okay, great stuff. So let's just listen to our dialogue a third time.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It'll be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always wrote me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. I mean, beautiful. Please come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
We want to know what you think happens next.
Yes, what happens in this dialogue next?
So we want you to send us your idea of what happens next, and we're going to choose the best one.
That's right. Marco and I will choose the best continuation of this story, and we'll use that in part 3 of The New Guy in Town.
That's right. So you can give it any direction you want.
That's right.
And of course, we'll publish the name of the author with the lesson.
Yes.
I'm really anxious to see what ideas come up and how we can end this dialogue.
I know we've got a lot of really creative users out there, so I'm really looking forward to this.
That's right. That's right. So be sure to send us your ideas, either a private message or you can post it on the comments section of this lesson. And any other questions or doubts, go to englishpod.com and you can leave them there.
Yes, Marco and I are always happy to answer your questions.
Okay, folks. So until then, it's
goodbye.
Bye.
I had always imagined what it would be like to start fresh somewhere completely new. My old city was loud, crowded, and predictable. Every day felt like a copy of the one before, with the same streets, the same faces, and the same routines. I wanted a change, a place where I could explore, meet new people, and maybe discover parts of myself that had been hidden in the noise of city life. After months of planning, I finally moved to Willow Creek, a small town I had only read about online. The bus ride was long, but gave me plenty of time to think. I watched the city skyline slowly fade and give way to open roads lined with trees, small houses, and fields that stretched toward the horizon. The further we went, the more my excitement grew. But so did a small knot of nervousness in my stomach. Would I fit in? Would I make friends? I tried to push those thoughts aside, reminding myself that every adventure comes with a little uncertainty. By the time we arrived, the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. Willow Creek looked peaceful, almost magical in the evening light. I stepped off the bus with my suitcase, feeling the cool pavement beneath my feet. I didn't know the town at all, but I could already sense a rhythm to it, a calmness that was very different from the constant rush of my old city. I walked slowly toward my apartment, noticing the small details of my new home. The streets were quiet and lined with colorful houses. Some had gardens filled with blooming flowers, while others had porches with chairs and rocking swings. A few people passed by, smiling and greeting each other, and I realized this was a town where strangers seemed to notice one another, a stark contrast to the indifferent faces of the city. When I finally reached my apartment building, I paused to admire the small garden in front. Flowers of every color bloomed neatly in rows, and a wooden bench sat beneath a tall oak tree. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The scent of wood polish and warm sunlight greeted me. My apartment was modest, a small living room, a tiny kitchen, a bedroom with a view of the street, and a bathroom, but it was cozy and comfortable. For the first time in months, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. After unpacking the essentials, I decided to take a short walk to get acquainted with my surroundings. Down the main street, I noticed a bakery that immediately caught my attention. The smell of freshly baked bread and pastries floated through the air, inviting me inside. I pushed the door open, and a small bell chimed above me. Inside, the cafe was warm and welcoming. Wooden tables and chairs were arranged neatly, and soft music played in the background. People were reading books, typing on laptops, and chatting softly over coffee. "First time here?" a friendly voice asked. I turned to see a man in his 30s smiling warmly. His name tag read Alex. "Yes, I just moved to town," I said, smiling back, though I felt a little nervous. "That's wonderful. Welcome to Willow Creek," he replied. "I'm Alex. If you want any tips about the town, I'd be happy to help." We started talking, and he shared valuable information about the town, the best cafes, local parks, small bookstores, and upcoming events. His friendliness put me at ease. Meeting someone welcoming on my very first day made this unfamiliar place feel a little more like home. Encouraged by the conversation, I continued exploring the neighborhood. The streets were quiet but full of life. Children played outside, neighbors waved, and shop windows displayed inviting products. I realized that being new in town didn't have to be lonely. Every interaction was an opportunity to learn, connect, and feel a part of the community. By the evening, I returned to my apartment and opened the window to let in the cool night air. Sitting on the small balcony with a cup of tea, I looked at the twinkling lights of Willow Creek below. Everything was unfamiliar, yet exciting. I was the new guy in town, and for the first time in a long while, I felt ready for what came next. The next morning, I woke up early, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today, I decided I would explore more of Willow Creek and try to meet some of its residents. After a quick breakfast, I grabbed my coat and stepped outside. The streets were quiet, covered in a soft morning mist. The town was waking up slowly, giving me time to adjust to this new life. I noticed a small park just a few blocks from my apartment. Children were laughing as they ran across the playground, and elderly people were sitting on benches feeding pigeons and chatting softly. I paused to take it all in. There was something peaceful about this scene, a rhythm that made me feel grounded. For the first time since moving, I felt a sense of belonging starting to form. Curious, I entered the park. Walking along the winding paths, I observed flowers in full bloom, the neatly trimmed grass, and a small pond where ducks swam gracefully. Rounding a corner, I saw a group of people gathered near a gazebo. They were talking and laughing, and a part of me hesitated. Should I approach them? Would they welcome me? Before I could overthink it, a woman noticed me and waved. "Hi there. Are you new in town?" she asked with a warm smile. "Yes," I said. "I just moved here a few days ago." "Welcome. I'm Sarah," she said. "We have a small community group that meets here every morning. We share stories, plan activities, and sometimes help each other with local projects. Why don't you join us?" I hesitated for a moment, but then nodded. It felt like an opportunity I couldn't miss. I walked over and introduced myself to the group. They were a friendly mix of young adults, middle-aged residents, and a few seniors. They asked about my old city, my work, and what brought me to Willow Creek. I shared a little about myself, and they seemed genuinely interested. Over the next couple of hours, I learned about several local spots I had not yet discovered. There was a cozy bookstore that hosted weekly reading sessions, a cafe that offered live music on weekends, and an art gallery run by a couple of local artists. Sarah also mentioned a community garden where residents could volunteer and grow vegetables. I felt a spark of excitement. This town was full of life, and I could already imagine myself participating in these activities. After spending the morning with the group, I continued my walk down the main street. I discovered a charming antique shop filled with books, old photographs, and trinkets from decades past. The elderly shopkeeper, Mr. Harris, greeted me warmly and shared stories about the town's history. He spoke of generations of families, old festivals, and hidden spots only locals knew about. Listening to him, I realized that even a small town could have layers of history and stories waiting to be uncovered. Returning to my apartment in the afternoon, I unpacked a few more essentials but mostly reflected on the morning's experiences. I had met people who were open and welcoming. I had learned about places I could explore and activities I could join. Slowly, Willow Creek was transforming from a strange, unfamiliar town into a place I could call home. That evening, I decided to revisit the bakery. Alex, the man I had met on my first day, was behind the counter, smiling as I entered. "Back so soon?" he asked, chuckling. "I wanted to see if you had any recommendations for local events," I said. "Absolutely," he replied enthusiastically. "There's a small music festival this weekend. It's casual. Locals play instruments, sing, and share food. You should come. It's a great way to meet people." I left the bakery feeling lighter and more confident. I realized that being new in town wasn't as intimidating as I had imagined. The town had opportunities, friendships, and stories waiting for me, and I was ready to explore them all. The next few days were a mix of small adventures, walking down streets I hadn't seen yet, visiting the bookstore, and chatting with shopkeepers who remembered my face. Each interaction, no matter how brief, added a layer of familiarity and comfort. By the end of the week, I had begun to recognize regular faces, learned the shortcuts through streets, and even started to understand the rhythm of Willow Creek. I also began noticing patterns in the town. People were genuinely interested in helping each other, and even simple gestures like waving, saying hello, or offering directions made a difference. I realized that community wasn't just about living in the same place. It was about sharing experiences, supporting one another, and creating a network of trust and kindness. One morning, Sarah invited me to help with the community garden. Together with a few other residents, I dug soil, planted seeds, and watered small plants. The work was simple but rewarding. I could feel the connection growing, not just to the soil and the plants, but to the people around me. Conversations flowed easily as we worked, and laughter filled the air. It was a completely different world from the fast-paced city life I had left behind. By the end of that week, Willow Creek no longer felt entirely foreign. I had a routine, friends to meet, and places I loved to visit. Being the new guy in town had started to feel like an exciting adventure rather than a scary challenge. The morning sunlight filtered gently through my apartment window, waking me with a soft glow. Today felt like an opportunity, a chance to explore Willow Creek more deeply. After a simple breakfast, I put on my jacket and stepped outside. The streets were alive with movement. Shopkeepers opening their doors, neighbors walking their dogs, and children riding bicycles along the sidewalks. It was a different pace than the city I had left behind, more relaxed and mindful. I decided to visit the bookstore Sarah had mentioned. The small building was tucked between a cafe and a flower shop. Its wooden sign swayed gently in the morning breeze, reading Willow Creek Books. Inside, the smell of old pages and polished wood welcomed me. Shelves were filled with novels, biographies, and local history books. A soft chime announced my arrival, and the owner, a kind woman named Margaret, greeted me warmly. "First time here?" she asked, smiling. "Yes, I moved to town recently," I replied. "Wonderful. You must check out our weekly reading sessions. Everyone is welcome, and it's a great way to meet people," she said. I spent the morning browsing books, losing myself in stories, while also noting local guides and maps. I realized that the bookstore was not just a place to buy books. It was a hub of community activity, a quiet space where residents shared ideas and knowledge. Later, I walked toward the cafe Alex had recommended. It was bustling with patrons enjoying coffee and pastries. A small corner was dedicated to local artists' exhibitions, displaying colorful paintings and handcrafted items. I introduced myself to a few people, and conversations flowed naturally. I learned about a weekend music festival and a community charity event. Every interaction made me feel less like a newcomer and more like a participant in the town's life. In the afternoon, I ventured to the community garden Sarah had invited me to. Alongside a few other residents, I helped plant vegetables and herbs. Conversations were lively, and I found myself learning new vocabulary related to gardening, teamwork, and local customs, all in English. The work was simple but rewarding, and the shared laughter created a sense of belonging that I hadn't experienced in the city. Returning home, I reflected on the day. Each place I visited, each person I met, offered lessons beyond mere sightseeing. I was learning how to navigate a new environment, build relationships, and participate in community life. Being new didn't mean being lost. It meant learning actively, engaging with people, and embracing experiences. The next day, I attended the music festival Alex had mentioned. The town square was transformed into a vibrant scene of colors, music, and laughter. Musicians played guitars and violins, while others sang folk songs from Willow Creek's past. Small food stalls offered homemade treats, and children ran around with painted faces. The atmosphere was welcoming, and I could feel the energy of a community celebrating itself. I met several locals who shared stories about the town, its history, and traditions. One elderly man, Mr. Thompson, told me about a festival held decades ago, how residents had worked together to build a community center, and the importance of preserving small-town culture. Listening to these stories, I realized how much a community's history shapes its present, and I felt grateful to be part of it. During the festival, I was introduced to Emma, a young woman who loved photography. She showed me around, capturing images of musicians, dancers, and children playing. We talked about our interests, hobbies, and experiences in Willow Creek. Through her eyes, I discovered corners of the town I had never noticed. The small alleyways, hidden murals, and quiet spots by the river. Meeting someone like Emma made me appreciate that friendships could form naturally when shared interests were involved. In the following days, I continued to explore the town's hidden gems. I visited a small art gallery, joined a local book club, and even helped organize a charity event. Each activity taught me more about communication, teamwork, and the importance of contributing to a community. I noticed myself using new vocabulary in English, practicing phrases to introduce myself, ask questions, and share opinions. One afternoon, while walking along the riverbank, I saw a group of children learning to fish under the guidance of a local volunteer. I joined in, offering tips I had learned online, and we shared laughter when our attempts failed. The simple joy of connecting with others, teaching and learning together, reinforced that being new was also an opportunity to share skills and knowledge. By the end of the week, Willow Creek had become familiar. I knew the streets, the names of shopkeepers, and even the favorite hangouts of some residents. I had discovered that the town was not just a place to live, it was a network of relationships, activities, and shared experiences. Each day brought a new opportunity to grow, learn, and connect. Reflecting on this, I understood that being the new guy in town wasn't just about adjusting. It was about embracing the unknown, engaging with the community, and opening myself to personal growth. Every encounter, every small task, and every conversation added to my knowledge of the town and improved my confidence in navigating new experiences. Weeks passed, and I was no longer the unfamiliar face in Willow Creek. The town had begun to feel like a home, not just a place to live. Every street corner, every cafe, and every park held small memories, greetings from neighbors, laughter with friends, and tiny victories in navigating daily life. Yet I knew there was still more to experience, more to learn, and more ways to grow. One Saturday morning, Sarah invited me to help organize a local charity fair. "It's a great way to meet people, contribute, and have fun," she said. I agreed immediately, feeling excited to participate actively in the community. When we arrived at the town hall, I was struck by how many residents were involved. Families, young adults, seniors, all working together to set up booths, decorate tables, and arrange activities for the event. I was assigned to a team responsible for guiding visitors and introducing them to different stalls. It felt like a responsibility, and I enjoyed interacting with the locals. People asked me questions about my background, my city, and my experiences in Willow Creek so far. Each conversation helped me practice English, learn new words, and understand cultural nuances. The fair became a place not just for socializing, but for education, learning, and connection. Later in the day, I met Ben, a young man who loved music. He invited me to try playing a guitar in one of the live sessions. I had never played in front of an audience before, but the supportive crowd encouraged me. My hands trembled slightly as I strummed the strings, but soon I found a rhythm. The applause and smiles from the audience gave me confidence, showing me that taking risks and stepping out of my comfort zone could lead to rewarding experiences. By evening, the fair had become a hub of laughter, learning, and shared stories. I realized that Willow Creek was more than a quiet town. It was a living community where everyone contributed, taught, and learned from each other. I began to see that belonging wasn't just about familiarity, it was about participation, openness, and connection. The following week, Emma invited me to photograph some local landmarks with her. We walked along the river, explored hidden streets, and visited old buildings with intricate designs. Through her camera lens, I noticed details I had overlooked, the way light reflected off windows, the texture of old bricks, and the vibrant colors of murals. Each photograph became a lesson in observation, attention to detail, and creativity. Around midweek, Alex suggested that we host a small storytelling evening at the cafe. I decided to share my journey as the new guy in town. Standing in front of a small audience, I recounted my first day, my fears, and the steps I took to integrate into the community. People listened attentively, nodding, smiling, and sharing their own experiences. The act of narrating my story was empowering. I realized that my challenges, once intimidating, had transformed into lessons not only for myself, but also for others. By the end of my first few months, I had fully embraced Willow Creek. I had my favorite spots, the bookstore, the bakery, the riverbank, and friends with whom I could share ideas, laughter, and support. I understood the importance of balancing curiosity with patience, learning with observation, and participation with reflection. Looking back, I saw how every step, from meeting Alex and Sarah to participating in festivals and community events, had helped me grow. I had learned how to navigate a new town, engage with people, face uncertainties, and adapt to unfamiliar situations. The journey had also enriched my English vocabulary, conversational skills, and confidence in communicating. One evening, sitting on my apartment balcony with a cup of tea, I gazed at the twinkling lights of Willow Creek. I smiled, realizing how far I had come. The town was no longer just a setting for my life. It had become part of me. I was no longer the newcomer. I was a participant, a contributor, and a friend. Being the new guy in town had taught me that growth comes from openness, connection, and courage. And so, as the stars sparkled above the quiet town, I understood the lesson Willow Creek had offered, that every beginning, no matter how uncertain or intimidating, holds the potential for learning, friendship, and self-discovery. Life, after all, is about stepping into the unknown with curiosity, kindness, and a willingness to grow.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Showing concern for the needs and feelings of other people. Thoughtful. A physical desire of food. Appetite. Make someone to feel scared and uncomfortable. Give the creeps. Start to know, become familiar with someone. Get to know. Expression to emphasize surprise or frustration. On earth. Say you will not or cannot do something. Decline. Rope into. Polite way to ask guests to make themselves comfortable. Make yourself at home. Being a friendly and caring host to the guests. Hospitable. Potluck. A party to celebrate moving into a new house. Housewarming. Let's try that faster. Say you will not or cannot do something. Decline. Being a friendly and caring host to the guests. Hospitable. Polite way to ask guests to make themselves comfortable. Make yourself at home. A physical desire of food. Appetite. A party to celebrate moving into a new house. Housewarming. Start to know, become familiar with someone. Get to know. Showing concern for the needs and feelings of other people. Thoughtful. Make someone to feel scared and uncomfortable. Give the creeps. Potluck. Expression to emphasize surprise or frustration. On earth. Rope into. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Thoughtful. Thanks for the Christmas gift. It's exactly what I want. You're so thoughtful. This is very thoughtful of you to help me out. Thoughtful. Thank you for being so thoughtful. Appetite. Dinner smells so good. It's giving me an appetite. Appetite. You're sure eating a lot. You must have a big appetite. Appetite. I'm getting sick. I have a fever and I've lost my appetite. Give the creeps. Horror movies give me the creeps. Give the creeps. Stop showing these images to me. They are giving me the creep. Give the creeps. I saw this really scary clown. It gave me the creep. Where on earth is my phone? How on earth did you learn English in 1 month? What on earth is it? Decline. It's not polite to decline Molly and Jim's dinner invitation. Decline. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to decline the invitation to your party. I'm busy that day. Decline. Everyone is going to attend the wedding. No one declined our invitation. Last night, Pete roped me into going for a drink after work. Renee is always roping me into doing her work for her. You're not going to rope me into spending the whole day shopping. Get to know. Karen and Victor got to know each other in university. Get to know. After you get to know him, Alan is a really nice guy. Get to know. I'm spending some time getting to know my team.